Good morning, good morning. It's a little after 10 a.m. Motherfucker. I gotta go around you guys. These cars. Okay. Just to show you what I'm on the back road. It's a little past. Oh no, shit, it's not even 10 a.m. It's 9:55 or 54. It is July 5th. Right, Loki? We are taking a ride to my uncle's. Gotta pick up something. Because it's been nicer out, weather-wise, like 80s and 90s, which I fucking love. I love the heat. It's put me in a better mood and made me want to film more. It's kind of easy for me to just talk while I'm driving like this. I'm more awake than yesterday. July 4th. But I still get lost because when I make these videos, I don't have a topic or ideals written down. Like my friend Schultz said I should have done. But I'm better at spur of the moment. It's just how I am. Ooh, there's a crane out there in the field. Let's see if I can point it out to you guys. Where is he? Right there. See him? If I'm filming up on the right thing. It's hard to see. A white crane. On this beautiful summer day. Yeah. I know what I could do. What I wanted to start doing was like my version of story time. Like there's a channel called Sage Wonder where he has story time. He's one of my favorites. Old Death at 23 and 1 or 23 and Fun. He tells his own stories, plus he has guests come on. That's a prison show related to jail and stuff like that. Maybe I'll tell you a story. I don't know if it's good to do it while I'm driving, trying to avoid garbage trucks and shit like that. Good thing I can project my voice pretty well and I talk loud. Okay. I'll tell you a short little story. A short one. It's not much. Actually, I'll just tell you something that happened to me. Well, I'd say when I was in my early 20s, my group of friends, which were a bunch of misfits, like an odd mix of people. You had your hippies, your freaks, your emo type of metalheads, your regular metalheads. You had your angry hippies. You had your wiggers, or you know, the kids that were into rap. A few hicks, you know, the country kids, a few preppies. It was just a mix of everyone, as long as, you know, we were all cool with each other. But besides that, this short little story I want to tell is, well, we were all hanging out in the woods because we like to do that, having a bonfire. And if you ever been to Michigan or St. Clair, it's Breeze Street Apartments back in the woods over there. We're all drinking, and the fire pit that we had was I'd say at least a foot or more deep that we dug into the ground, so that way people couldn't really see it as well, and also so obviously we didn't start fires. And you know, when you're younger, you try to impress people somewhat, or when you get buzzed, you know, you feel stronger or whatever. Well, I seen this kid climbing the trees, and I was really good at climbing trees, even trees with no branches. I knew how to bear climb. It's where you like hug the tree and use your body almost like a boa constrictor. Shit. But I was wasted. Well, drunk, not wasted, but... And I was like, dude, this is how you do it. And I was climbing some of the trees fine, but this one tree that I climbed, I didn't realize how thin it was at the top. Hold on a sec. Maybe that will help the sound a little bit. And I bear climbed it because I didn't really have any branches. And I climbed it so fast, I didn't realize that when I got closer to the top how weak it was, and it started to bend over. Actually no, wrong. We knew that some of the trees were weaker at the top, but we didn't think they were like that flimsy that they would snap. And we were like climbing up and bending over and touching the ground and just letting go. But the one that I did, it happened to bend right over the fire. And I was hanging, and I remember for a split second thinking like, okay, how the hell am I gonna fall? How am I gonna like go to the side? And it snapped, and I fell directly in the fire. And my right leg, you gotta think about all of this. Like, when I fell, it hit the log. This log was full of hot coals, like burning. It hit the log, so you know when you get hit hard, it can cause a bruise, right? But as I hit, it also scraped. It scraped the fucking hot coals. The hot coals like got embedded in my fucking leg. And I remember like sitting in the fire. It felt like a moment, you know, and like thinking to myself, holy fuck, and everyone looking at me like, what the fuck? And I just like ran out of the fire. But I ended up, I got like, you know, 3rd degree or whatever, the worst burns, because it was like blistering and shit like that. But yeah, I remember crawling out of the fire and just kind of like in shock, I guess, but not like hardcore, because people around me seemed to be in more shock than me. I was just like, okay, just checking my body out, making sure I'm all right. You know, like more or less like if I broke bones, I can handle cuts and scrapes and even a few burns, but... And then I remember looking at my leg and thinking, holy fuck, like, yeah, I burnt it bad. It was blistering and shit like that, and it was... I had pictures of it on MySpace. That's how far back it was. The burn was, you know, almost the whole front of my lower leg past the knee. And I remember drinking a lot more, but I ended up walking to one of our friends' apartments, Fortuna's apartment, Sarah Shaft and Fortuna, Nick Fortuna, and just running my leg under cold water for a long time and drinking beer. Yeah, and I pretty much, I don't think I had Band-Aids that night. Pretty much just rinsed it off, cleaned it, and went back to drinking. But for the next, I'd say, 2 weeks at the least, I had to, I drank a lot because I didn't have painkillers or anything like that. Because every time I bandaged it, I had to re-rip the scab. I would lay in the tub, not super cold, not super hot, you know, more on the colder side, and let my leg soak with the Band-Aid because it was stuck to the fucking wound, and slowly peel it off. That's also how I cleaned it. Everyone's like, you should go to the doctors, go to the hospital. No, all they're gonna give you is antibiotics, maybe burn cream if you're lucky, and fucking ibuprofen. Especially if you're a fucking man and you're younger. They're not gonna give you any pain medicine. They're just gonna do what I'm already fucking smart enough to know how to do. So I did that for the next 2 weeks to a month. It healed perfectly fine. And it's funny to say this because we're not close anymore, but a friend at the time, Beavis, actually had some burn cream that he got me, and it did help out a lot. So thanks for that, you fucker. I gotta say thanks to you. What the fuck? But it did help somewhat. And yeah, that's how I got 3rd-degree burns on my leg from falling from a tree. Hopefully, I can tell some more stories and you like them. This is the scattered thoughts of Mr. Know-It-Owl. I hope you like my first story time. Have a good day.